with the great outdoors. Multiple cabins and lodges are available for a cozy soft season getaway. Information at explorehawkinghills.com.
Now at 6:30, another hurdle for Nelsonville. The Board of Elections certifies election results, leaving the future of the city's government on shaky grounds. Plus, lawmakers say new property tax bills will provide $2 billion in tax relief, while critics say the bill misses the point. And in sports, it's regional finals week across the state. Find out more about the two matchups in Southeast Ohio. Newswatch starts right now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Welcome to Newswatch. The Athens County Board of Elections certified all 11 candidates elected to Nelsonville city government, leaving the future of the city's government even more uncertain. Those 11 candidates all ran under Issue 23, a ballot initiative that would change the city's form of government. The current council repealed Issue 23 back in August, meaning none of the candidates who ran under Issue 23 can take office. Now that those candidates have been certified, the city is now vulnerable to more lawsuits concerning those challenged seats. This comes after the city dismissed its lawsuit asking the Secretary of State and the County Board of Elections not to certify this year's election results. Warm for November. Will they stick around? Let's turn it over to forecaster Emily Dietz.
Thanks, Charlie. You're absolutely right. It definitely has been a warmer month. We've had a couple of cold spells here and there, but today it's one of those warmer days. We're looking at a high of about 55 degrees, and we've seen some off and on showers as the day's gone on. Most of this rainfall has been in central Ohio, and we've had a little bit down here in Athens, but for the most part, it's been staying to the north and the south of us. But we are expecting more rain to happen this evening. Tonight, we're going to see an overnight low of about 44 degrees, and we are looking at that 100% chance of rain. So as you heard before, we are seeing a lot of sports go on throughout the state. So if you haven't left the house yet, make sure you grab that umbrella or grab that rain jacket because you are going to need it. Here in central Ohio, we're going to continue to see more rain showers this evening. And down to the south of us, we're going to have a little bit of spotty showers, but we're going to see most of that rain happen later in the evening. But definitely a good idea to grab that rain jacket because, again, these showers are going to be pretty spotty. So you're going to be an off and on rain. And then as we go into the morning hours around 7 a.m., we're going to see everything start to wrap up. And we're going to see some sunshine start poking out tomorrow.
Thanks, Emily. A jury acquits a Columbus police officer in the shooting death of a 21-year-old, Takea Young, and her unborn child. In August 2023, former Blendon Township police officer Connor Grubb fatally shot Young, who was pregnant, after she was accused of stealing alcohol from a Kroger. The jury earlier today found Grubb not guilty of murder, felonious assault, and manslaughter. Grubb would have faced life in prison if convicted. In a statement on behalf of the Young family, their attorney promised to continue the civil case in court. The case in civil court, excuse me. The statement reads, "The criminal verdict does not end this case, it just refocuses it." Athens will begin considering lease proposals for the old fire station on Columbus Road after City Council approved rezoning the area on Monday. With the completion of the new fire station on Stimson, the building has been empty, but the land around the fire station was zoned for residential use, prompting the city to change the parcels around the old station to allow for commercial development. With the changes, the city can move forward with the property. The Ohio House passed a bill to stop abortion drugs from being prescribed over telehealth. The Patient Protection Act would put unnamed abortion medication into a group of drugs requiring an in-person doctor's visit before they can be prescribed. Supporters say the bill will protect the doctor-patient relationship, but critics say it's an unnecessary restriction to abortion access and violates the Reproductive Rights Amendment voters passed in 2023. The bill now heads to the Senate. The Ohio State House passed 4 bills to bring property tax relief to homeowners. Supporters say the bills could save taxpayers $2 billion, while critics say they're not addressing the root problem. 2 of the bills are similar to provisions Governor DeWine struck from the state budget over the summer, citing concerns over school funding. Those bills would update the formula to calculate the 20 mil floor and allow county budget commissions to reduce millage property tax levies. The other 2 bills limit certain funding from tax revenue. Governor DeWine has yet to sign any of the 4 bills into law. President Trump is setting a deadline for Ukraine to agree to his plan to end the war with Russia. The 28-point peace proposal draft requires Ukraine to cede territory and limits the size of Ukraine's military. Many of the ideas in the plan have been rejected in previous negotiations by Ukraine and European officials and would be seen as concessions to Russia.
Ukraine may now face a very difficult choice. either the loss of dignity, or the risk of losing a key partner, or 28 difficult points, or an extremely harsh winter. The most difficult and further risks are a life without freedom, without dignity, without justice, and believing someone who has already attacked us twice.
After meeting a top U.S. military official on Thursday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky agreed to work with the Trump administration on the new plan. It remains in the framework stage, and many points have not been finalized. Scientific information on the CDC's website was replaced with false claims about a link between vaccines and autism. Experts say this is the Trump administration's latest attempt to alter U.S. vaccine policy. Correspondent Julia Benbrook reports.
Medical professionals are voicing concerns as scientific information on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's website has been replaced with anti-vaccine talking points. Bullet points on the site now state that vaccines do not cause autism is not an evidence-based claim. Dr. Dmitry Daskalakis, who recently resigned as director of the CDC's National Center on Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, said the change was a, quote, national embarrassment.
My advice to parents is talk to your pediatrician. The American Academy of Pediatrics completely disagrees with this update. The Autism Foundation disagrees with this update. So speak to people who actually are experts and take care of children.
While the main heading on the page still states vaccines do not cause autism, it comes with an asterisk that directs readers to a footnote. There it states the wording was not removed due to an agreement with the chair of the U.S. Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee that it would remain on the CDC website. That seems to refer to a commitment by HHS Secretary and longtime anti-vaccine activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to Republican Senator Bill Cassidy during his confirmation process. In a statement following the website change, Cassidy said in part, "I'm a doctor who has seen people die from vaccine-preventable diseases. What parents need to hear right now is vaccines for measles, polio, hepatitis B, and other childhood diseases are safe and effective and will not cause autism. Any statement to the contrary is wrong, irresponsible, and actively makes Americans sicker." An HHS spokesperson defended the changes, saying they reflect gold standard evidence-based science. But it is important to note that there are many credible studies that have found no relationship. At the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Coming up, the FAA is preparing for what is set to be the busiest holiday travel period in 15 years. And farmers across the U.S. are in limbo as the U.S.'s trade war with China makes drastic cuts to soybean exports.
We've had rain today, we're seeing sunshine tomorrow, but what will we see this upcoming Thanksgiving holiday? Be sure to stay tuned to Newswatch to find out.
This Thanksgiving, escape to the heart of the English countryside, where every creature has a story and every moment warms the soul. Join us for a special marathon of All Creatures Great and Small, the beloved series that celebrates kindness, community, and the magic of everyday life. All Creatures Great and Small Marathon, Thursday starting at 4 p.m. only on WOUB.
Miss Austen.
Miss
Scarlett.
Miss Austen was sister to the great lady novelist Jane Austen.
What's she doing here?
My name's...
I know exactly who you are.
The lady detective. Miss Scarlett, isn't it?
Miss Austen.
Miss Scarlett!
Miss Austen.
Miss Scarlett. Come along. So happy you're home, darling. We're doing a brand new musical.
Fabulous.
Charlie's gonna help with the show. It'll be fun.
How am I meant to work under these conditions?
Now, boom!
There's a way things are done here.
This is musical theatre.
I scream into the bar.
For what it's worth, you've really got something.
Shocking, but keep going.
On Masterpiece.
This is the story of one of the widest miscarriages of justice in British legal history.
We'd all had our lives completely tipped upside down. I went through hell.
It was diabolical. Something had to be done about it.
The real story of Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. A Masterpiece special.
Stream now on the PBS app.
As 82 million Americans prepare their travel plans for the Thanksgiving holiday, the FAA is gearing up for what is set to be the busiest travel period in 15 years. The Tuesday before the holiday is set to be the busiest travel day with over 15,000 scheduled flights. The next busiest travel day being the Sunday after Thanksgiving, when travelers return home. Despite previous staffing shortages caused by the government shutdown, the FAA administrator says the agency is ready to take on the holiday rush. Well, you heard it right there. It's going to be crazy in the sky. It's going to be crazy on the road. So can people expect some, weather-related interferences?
Yeah, so fortunately for us, we're not going to be seeing too much weather, especially on Thanksgiving. Now, if you are traveling a bit before that, we are in Southeast Ohio expecting some rain showers that Tuesday into that Wednesday beforehand. But if you're traveling this weekend, we're not going to be expecting too much interference. Also, it does depend on where you are going in the country. But things are going to be pretty mellowed out going on into next week. And taking a look at what we've got going on in Athens right now, it's pretty calm outside right now. We've got clear skies. Or we're going to be seeing clear skies tomorrow. Tonight we're seeing partly cloudy skies and we're going into some rain showers. It's actually pretty comfy outside for our temperatures. So right now we're looking at about 45 degrees. And unfortunately, my system did not like that forecast. It's getting ready to go on that Thanksgiving holiday. So it decided to shut down on us for a minute. But we're going to be seeing some nice weather coming up next week. But in the meantime, tonight we're going to be seeing some rain showers. We had a couple of rain showers throughout the day today. Right now we're at mostly cloudy skies, but as the evening continues on, we're going to continue to see that rain. Now with that 45-degree temperature, fortunately for us, we're seeing that central across the U.S. as well. So that's going to be pretty comfortable these next couple of days, and that's the type of temperatures that we can expect to see as the week goes on. And we're not going to be seeing too many cooling temperatures in the area as well. Now, what we do have behind me is a very messy surface analysis map, and this is taking a look at what's going on at the surface level across the U.S. So let's break this down a little bit. Right now, we're looking at this low pressure system in the central U.S. with a stationary front stretching towards the east. Now, we've got a lot of warm air with some moisture being pulled up from the Gulf, and that's interacting with the stationary front and this low pressure to create a lot of this precipitation and this cloud coverage that we've been seeing actually this past week and carrying on into tonight. And since we've got the sort of horizontal orientation with it, that's why we're seeing it for so long. Because typically when we have a vertically shaped system, that's just going to move through pretty quickly within a couple of hours. But when we've got this horizontal shape, it's going to be staying here for quite a while. Now behind it, we do have some high pressure. So as we go into tomorrow, things will be starting to clear up. But in the meantime, tonight, once again, we're going to be seeing those rain showers hang around the area for quite a while. And we're going to be seeing an overnight low of 44. So we're lucky to be in the 44 degree for our low and not in the 30s, because if we're in the low 30s, we could see some freezing. So being in this 44 degree, we're just going to be seeing rain showers. And we're not going to see any ice or snow. Now we are expecting these rain showers to happen till about 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, and mainly in central Ohio. So we're going to be seeing most of this rain, some spotty showers as we get more towards Athens, but the more consistent rainfall is going to happen to the north of us and to the south of us in that Kentucky and West Virginia area. But once again, we're going to be seeing this start to wrap up around the 7 a.m. time frame. And as we go into tomorrow, we're going to be seeing some cloud coverage start to hang in the area, and then some sunshine is going to start poking out. We're going to be seeing a high of about 55 degrees and a low of 33. So definitely on the chillier side tomorrow night. But as we go into tomorrow, once again, that high pressure is going to be scooting over the area, starting to clear things up for us as the last remaining rain showers and clouds start to push away. And then on Sunday, we have a cold front moving through, but that's not going to impact too much of our temperature. In fact, that's just going to really help clear the system out of the way for that high pressure to really take its shape. And that's what we're going to see, the nice warming going on Sunday and Monday. So a nice day for that holiday travel, especially if you're driving. Nice clear skies. But then we go into Tuesday. That's when we're going to start seeing that rain. And Thursday, it's looking pretty nice to eat some turkey.
Thanks, Emily. President Donald Trump signed an order removing additional import tariffs on certain Brazilian goods. The order is part of an effort to lower consumer costs for Americans on certain products like coffee, fruit, and beef. The executive order applies retroactively from November 13th, the same day a previous order reduced tariffs on some Brazilian food items. Brazil's vice president is hailing the president's move as, quote, significant progress, but says the country will continue pushing for more trade exemptions. American soybean farmers are feeling the impacts of the U.S. trade war with China, even after recent negotiations, Mary Bell Gonzalez has the latest on the farmers' struggles.
John Bartman is a fifth-generation soybean farmer in Illinois. His crops contribute to the U.S.'s largest agricultural export, which last year valued at more than $24 billion, according to USDA data. China bought 53% of those exports, but this past September imported zero.
It's what we do in this country. We export food, and we can't do that right now.
In May, China placed an effective embargo on U.S. soybeans in retaliation to Trump administration tariffs, instead buying soybeans from other countries. But in October, some hope for struggling farmers like Bartman when the U.S. met with China.
The United States was able to get the Chinese to back down from a prohibition of rare earth metals exports to the U.S. And in exchange, the U.S. would drop half of that fentanyl tariff. Also, China would buy 25 million metric tons of soybeans every year, beginning this year.
However, new data from the Agriculture Department shows China has made only 2 purchases of soybeans, totaling 232,000 metric tons of soybeans since the summit. The Soybean Association said although that number has gone up, it's still well below the 12 million metric tons China promised to buy by year's end.
We have cautious optimism that it'll take place, but in reality, actions ultimately are the deciding factor here.
I'm Maribel Gonzalez reporting.
Consumer sentiment is at a 10-year low, but holiday retailers are still expecting a good holiday spending season. Holiday sales are set to increase to $32 billion. That's a 2.5% increase from last year. Cincinnati, Columbus, and Cleveland are set to account for more than half of the total holiday spending. Despite household debt and prices increasing, there are signs Ohio's economy is still strong. New data is showing American paychecks aren't going as far as they used to, leaving some struggling to meet the high cost of living. Ivan Rodriguez breaks down the latest economic outlook.
Higher price rise of everything going on with inflation, the tariffs, our dollars are not stretching as much as it need to.
From food to health insurance.
It's going to be tripled
this year,
which equates to double the cost of what we pay for our mortgage for our house.
People are struggling to keep up with rising costs. A poll published by Fox News this week found 76% of Americans have a negative view of this economy, up from 67% in July. Vice President J.D. Vance says the administration needs time.
As much progress as we've made, it's going to take a little bit of time for every American to feel that economic boom, which we really do believe is coming.
When it comes to Americans' paychecks, in September, inflation-adjusted hourly earnings were flat for the second month in a row, holding the annual rate of gain at 0.8%, the lowest in more than a year, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics data released Friday. For blue-collar and service industry workers, real pay gains were even weaker. The White House, however, continues to express optimism about the economy.
Wages are up by 3.8% over the year for American workers because of President Trump's pro-growth policies. In fact, real wages are on pace to increase roughly $1,200 for the average worker this year under President Trump.
In September, inflation also rose to 3% for the first time since January, according to the Consumer Price Index. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
For the second month straight, inflation-adjusted hourly earnings for all U.S. employees are falling flat. That's according to newly released data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, showing the annual growth rate of gain hits its slowest early pace since mid-2024, holding at 0.8%. For production and subordinate employees, average hourly earnings fell 0.1% from August, while inflation rose to 3% for the first time since January.
Next in sports tonight is the hour-long finale of Gridiron Glory. We have 2 regional final games to go through, plus we have to highlight some award finalists for our coach and player of the year.
The Ohio Art Corridor is a destination experience. We would like this to be the largest outdoor art gallery in the world.
Portsmouth was able to field an incredible team for a brief moment in the sun that almost was sweet enough to get them a national championship.
We got land granted to us in Ohio. Great opportunity. Let's go. How would you know you got here? It was just sheer determination and patience and just hard, back-breaking work.
The bridge was acclaimed at the time of being an engineering marvel.
Progress is all about taking the lessons of the past and doing better. So I would hope that now that we know better, we will do better.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
It's so nice to have you here. It's worth it.
Wheels up in 5.
Very simple, but very elegant food.
I'm trying to save your father's life.
Excited?
I can't wait.
Welcome back to sports. I'm Joshua Herner. It's regional finals week across the state of Ohio, and there are still 3 teams left in Southeast Ohio. 2 of the 3 reside in Region 19, and they'll go head-to-head for the first time since 2016. Wheelersburg and Nelsonville York both come into this game undefeated on the season and winners of their respected conferences. Last week, Wheelersburg took down Barnesville 36-13, ending the Shamrock season for a 4th year in a row. And as for the Buckeyes, their defense shined in a 10-7 win over Columbus Academy after beating Union Local in dominant fashion in their first playoff game. And here are the numbers for both of those teams, both averaging around 38 points a game and allowing just under 10. And it's very evident how dominant these two have been all season long and why beat every team they lost to last season, and Wheelersburg took down rivals Jackson and Ironton. And as for the other regional finals match, the teams are a little familiar with each other. New Lexington and Indian Valley matched up last season in the regional semis, with the Braves winning 42-23. But this Panther squad has without a doubt had one of the best seasons in school history. The Panthers dominated in the regular season, only allowing 11 points per game this season and dominating their first 2 playoff games. They took down Fairfield Union 39-0 and Unioto 47-14, outscoring those two by a combined 86-14. Offensively, they'll rely on weapons such as Paul Stenson and Tyson Spicer to make plays on the ground and in the air. But this Panthers defense will have their hands full this week, in large part due to this guy right here, Grady Kinsey. Without a doubt, one of the best players in Ohio high school history, Kinsey broke the Ohio high school rushing touchdowns record last week against Jonathan Alder. In this game last year, Kinsey had 156 rushing yards on 25 carries and a touchdown. But games aren't the only action we have in store tonight. There are still some awards to give out. There are 5 finalists for the Coach and Player of the Year awards, and there is no doubt these are some of the best candidates we've had in a long time. Starting off with Rusty Richards, the head coach of the Nelsonville York Buckeyes, 10-0. His last undefeated season came in 2017, his second year as coach of the program. Now over to the MVL Big and their champion, head coach of Tri-Valley, Cam West. He led them to an 8-2 regular season and a playoff win in the first round against Hamilton Township, and he also won a playoff game for the 3rd straight season. And as for another guy who's used to winning playoff games, that's Kevin Board with New Lexington. 9-1 regular season for him and his team. Like we mentioned, they're going to be playing to the regional final tonight. Another guy who's in the regional final, and that's Wheelersburg's head coach, Rob Woodward. He had a perfect regular season, and like we mentioned earlier, defeated both rivals Jackson and Ironton. And the final finalist for our Coach of the Year consideration is Eric Huck out of Fort Fry. 9-1 regular season for the head coach, and they were the TSL champions. Not only that, he had a dominant defense this season, and no doubt these are some of the best coaches in the 7-4-0. Now over to our players of the year, and let's start off in Miami Trace and their running back, Julian Baker. Over 1,700 yards for Baker in 9 games and 26 touchdowns. The explosive running back also averaged 9 yards per carry. Now his teammate, Adam Guthrie, back-to-back Gridiron Glory Player of the Year finalist this season. 126 pancakes, 0 sacks allowed for the offensive tackle out of Miami Trace. Now as for another guy in the FAC, it's sophomore out of Chillicothe, Carte Ligon. 2,156 rush yards on the season and 25 TDs. He also broke the school's single-game rushing record with 420 in a game. Another guy who broke a record this year, Eric Manley Jr., the only QB on our list, over 2,200 passing yards and 30 touchdowns. He led Eastern to back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. And the final guy on our list also hails from the SOC, and that's Bryce McLaughlin, the lone defensive player in the top 5, 162 tackles, and 21 of those coming for loss. Charlie, it's hard to believe that this is it for us in our show, but we still got a couple teams left. We'll have a Region 19 winner as well. You know, it'll be fun tonight. A lot of great games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Josh. I mean, that New Lex Indian Valley rematch, I mean, it's been circled all year. Everybody's excited. I can tell you, I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see how this is going. So, you know, thank you so much for coming on to break it all down, Josh.
Absolutely, Charlie.
And still ahead, the Athens community comes together to support children in need over the holiday season. We'll be right back, but until then, here's a look at what's coming up on your public television station.
Next time on the American Revolution, the shock of treason.
He was the last person Washington ever thought would have betrayed him.
The South explodes in battle.
It's sometimes brother against brother. It's an ugly conflict.
And a new nation rises.
With what soldiers in the world could one do what was done by these men?
Don't miss the conclusion of the American Revolution.
Tonight at 8 on WOUB.
This is the most powerful weapon system known at this time.
This is the first combat submarine. Cutting-edge technology.
The science that helps shape history.
I've never experienced or seen anything like this.
Doing experiments, shooting these weapons, helps give us a better understanding of the soldiers who fought in the American Revolution.
Revolutionary War Weapons on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
Ukrainian forces have now launched their much-talked-about counter-offensive.
Expected to be the biggest military operation in Europe since World War II.
This war is a nightmare none of us can wake up from.
Tuesday at 10 on WOUB.
Liberty, equality, and government by consent became building blocks for the Constitution.
I think it's possible for us to reinvigorate the sense of purpose that we have had by going back and understanding that origin story.
The American Revolution is a deeply patriotic story.
This conversation that we've been having tonight reminds us of the American political inheritance that we have.
Monday at 9 on WOUB.
For 38 years, the Athens County Children's Foundation has partnered with local organizations to help make the holidays merry and bright for over 1,000 kids. The Christmas Tree Project encourages Athens residents to take an ornament off the tree at the market on State and to get a list to buy presents for kids in need. Matt Starkey with the foundation says the project allows families to keep the holiday spirit even in tough times.
As a parent of kids myself, if I were not able to provide for those kids on Christmas, I can only imagine what that would feel like. And if I could stop other parents from feeling that way along the way, I mean, that's just what it's all about, you know.
Ohio University organizations like the Shea Sales Center, sororities, and Res Life make donations of toys and money to help the project operate. If you want to make a donation, you have until Christmas Eve. And if you can't make it to the tree, you can go to the website on your screen. Well, I mean, that's just such a great program. And, you know, we're talking about it earlier, Josh, but, you know, such, you know, big games on the horizon tonight. You know, what are we looking at for the weather for those games?
Well, unfortunately, it's going to be a bit rainy. We're seeing off and on showers. So we've got some showers mainly in central Ohio. Down here in Athens, we're going to see a couple fewer showers, but still definitely pack that umbrella, pack that rain jacket, because we're going to be seeing that rain up until about 7 a.m. tomorrow. So definitely will be cloudy skies tonight. And over the next couple of days, we'll be seeing a little bit of clearing going on this weekend. So definitely a nice day to get outside and enjoy that weather before the winter weather really starts to settle in. But this upcoming Thanksgiving Day, we're going to see a little rain before that. Be safe driving if you are traveling on that Tuesday, because we're expecting some rain showers. But on Thursday, it's looking pretty nice to eat some turkey.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Emily Dietz and Josh Herner, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Newswatch will return Monday, December 1st. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next.